Well, it's Thursday, Thursday night to be exact. Happy Thursday night to all of you out there in social media land. Again, this is Brother Dana coming to you from Chicago. Another article caught my attention and dropped something in my spirit, and so I wanted to bring this to the forefront here tonight. And if you go to my Facebook page, you will see it. But if not, I'm sure you've probably already read about it on Facebook or in the media, but President Trump did something so mysterious and yet miraculous and so kind and loving that he pardoned, yes, a black man by the name of Jack Johnson. And so I read this article that was posted in, I think, New York Times or something, or in one of the books, I don't remember. But it was just saying, and when I got to the end, almost like, look at this great thing that President Trump has done. And so in this article that I read, it was just like, this was so unexpected and people think he's a racist, but yet there's all kinds of others that are locked up, and President Trump, the man that we have declared to be a racist, pardoned a black man. So what's this about? Well, in the eyes of my white family, this proves again that Trump is not a racist. Because if he was, he would not have pardoned a black man. And so where my white family is when they think about racism, it's so shallow that this to them proves that Trump really isn't a racist, and you are just being too hard on him because he pardoned a black man when he could have pardoned so many others. All right, well, first of all, let's look at the black man that he pardoned, Jack Johnson. He's dead. So, of course, President Trump is going to pardon a dead black man, not a living black man, but a dead black man, and show himself to be such a non-racist individual. And for my white family, that is all they need. And I was just talking to a friend of mine, and a lot of my white family gets mad all the time because I do what they say, stereotype every white person to be a racist. But what they don't understand is what I mean when I come by the terms of racism or being a racist. Being a racist is not just calling somebody the N-word or an inappropriate slang word to their culture or to their skin color or to their language. Racism that I'm talking about is not that surface level. Hey, I wouldn't stand and watch a lynching happen. I wouldn't be a part of that because I'm not racist. That level of I'm not racist because I have a white friend, or a black friend, I should say. Why I say that all my white folk are racist, and I deem this to absolutely be true, because white Gentile family members that have heard my videos have come to me saying, thank you, brother, that I'm not alone, that there are more of us that understand what's going on. One of them is a young lady. She's called the Angry Soccer Mom. And I'm telling you, I know we've had some discussions. We've been talking back and forth, and I like her. And she may be learning more where I'm coming from when I call you the Israelites and the true chosen of the Most High. But outside of that, she's there. And where she's not, she is so deeply broken from what she does know and have experienced that she'll receive any type of correction or information or knowledge that she can take to understand her, and so that she can release what her and I have talked about, is that every white person has white supremacy and white privilege in them. And that is why, again, I say that all my white folk are racist. They may not be racist at the shelter level, but because they refrain from the N word and they refrain from some of those name calling words and verbs they have. But when it comes to them lending, standing up and saying, look, our black brothers and sisters shouldn't have to stand for a flag that represents injustice to them. They're nowhere to be found, because when it gets a little bit deeper, you'll find their hot spot where their racism then begins. But I believe as white people, all of us, to the core of our being, have racism because we were raised as white supremacists, just naturally that way. And we have had white privilege. So again, even according to the word of Yah, it said that you don't know what's good in you until you go through the flame and through the fire, and then what comes out is the pure gold. So how does my white family that's never been in the fire, when you want to come to culturally being challenged, that they know really where they are when it comes to being racist? They don't, because they never allow themselves to get to a place where they'll say, wow, I don't like the N-word and I don't like this, but man, you're right, I still would not submit. I still fear them more than a white man. I still, every time I see a black man, I grab a little bit tighter to my purse. I still go to church and their singing makes me get a headache. That's what I'm talking about. And that's why I say, until my white family goes through what they need to go through, like that fire of making us culturally aware or of our white supremacy and racism, they don't know, you and I will not know what they will turn out. Will they be, like I said, go the crazy way, where then all of a sudden you see them acting like fools and start cussing and swearing and cut you off? Or will they stop and repent? And so why Trump did what he did was because in the eyes of most of my white family, 99% of them, he just proved to them as a defense towards you that we are not serving a racist president. Because if he was, he sure in the heck would not release a black man. So just some food for thought. The things that I bring to you based off of, how I grew up. And I grew up white. I grew up in southern Minnesota. And I'm going to be honest, I didn't even personally know the name of a black man or woman until I was 21 years old when I first got to Chicago in 1994. I just told my age. Don't tell nobody else, though. But hey, yeah, I'm 45. So anyway, it's through all these years then that I have learned from that first altercation till now, and like I said, when that gang or those 5 young black men beat me up, I felt their pain. I felt the pain behind the words that they hollered at me, said, welcome to racism. But I didn't understand that pain because, again, in my mind, I'm like, well, why are you so angry? We don't treat you like slaves no more. We don't necessarily call you out of your name, and we don't lynch. But that is such here, and the depth of systematic racism and prejudice that my people have bestowed upon you for 400 years is so deep. I mean, it is so, so deep. And I realize that even with how we have placed so much mistrust amongst yourselves, that we have caused you to not trust one another. And I just learned today with talking to a Hebrew brother of mine, how he wants me to watch some, I've got it written down, but Manual Mission, I believe is what it's called, but how it was a law back in the slavery time and all that if a fellow slave heard of an uprising, that if he would go to the slave master, there would be a reward for him. And so even how back then we put that mistrust and distrust amongst you, because we know as a fact that if we keep you divided, you will never rise up to conquer or to obtain your freedom. And so in so many cases, many of you trust me more than you trust each other. But then, yes, I know there's still that mistrust because the most whites in your lives, have used you for their own self gain. So why am I any different? And why should you trust me? You shouldn't. And that's why I say over and over again, may the Spirit of the Most High begin to show you who I am. And maybe through the years of consistency, even though I've been doing this for 25, most of you have just been in my life now for 2, maybe 1.5. So you don't have that history with me where the young men that I've mentored and walked with for 23 to 24 years will say to you more than I that one of the things that they always knew is they could, I'm not a perfect man, never walked on water, but they trusted me that all I wanted was for them to overcome the stumbling block of recognizing who they were. And now, how much greater is that message to not only who you are as a beautiful American back then, or a beautiful black man or a black woman, but now to understand that your beauty goes to the root that you are the chosen of the Most High. You are the Israelites. So anyway, why did Trump do that? Because this is all a part of the trickery and the deception of the white evangelical America that now again is reminded that Trump is not a racist president, because no racist would free a black man. But be encouraged, because we know that your salvation and your freedom is not going to come from the hands of a man, but is becoming from the hands of the Most High, your Yah. So be blessed, be encouraged. Again, hit me up, www.onelovesociety.love. Hit me up there, and any questions, feedback, whatever it might be, send me an email, and I will surely try to get back with you right away. So until the next time we connect here on social media, I want to say again, it's an honor and a privilege to be used by the Most High, to be able to speak any words of encouragement to you, to keep you holding on, to know that He hasn't forgotten you, and it's always an honor to be used by Him to defend, and that my eyes have been opened. And if anything, I praise Him for that my eyes have been opened. He did not have to graft me in, but He did. And I'm so grateful and thankful for that. So how could I not surrender my life to be used by Him to help open up the eyes of the blind, regardless of what side of the fence of the family they be on? That is my goal. What a precious calling the Most High has bestowed upon me, and I take that very, very seriously. So be blessed, and until we talk again, shalom.